Beginning with a quote that you've heard recently from a show called The Third Doctor. A straight line may be the shortest distance between 2 points, but it is by no means the most interesting. Good morning, faculty, students, and family. I hope you've all had a great long weekend. As the quote suggested, today I'll be focusing on a topic that I find quite intriguing and important to consider. In my mind, I picture setting goals as a road to success, if you will. I find that when we reach our destinations, we likely have gone through a few stages that tend to reappear as we continue to set goals. These stages include the decision to try, any roadblocks that we may face, the steps that we take to overcome these roadblocks, and finally when we reach our destinations. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This is a quote by Wayne Gretzky, the best hockey player to walk the earth. Its meaning is simple. Unless you try, unless you ask, unless you speak up, you're never going to know what could have been if you could have scored, if you were really right when somebody else told you that you were wrong. Every journey of 1,000 miles starts with the decision to take a single step. So you've started your journey, and the road is easy at first. It's a straight line, but inevitably you're going to come up to an obstacle. For this, I'd like to see if we can all picture something with me, and it might get a little bit tricky. So picture a blank Word document, and we've got 4 boxes. There's one at the top, one underneath that, 2 to either side of the second one, and 1 at the bottom. So on the top box, it reads, I have a problem, okay? And there's an arrow that goes down to the second box right underneath it. And that contains the question, well, can I do something about it? And the 2 boxes to either side of that say yes, and they say no, okay? And here's where the trick comes in. Both of those boxes go down to the same box on the bottom, and it says, well, then why worry? If you have a problem and you know that you can do something about it, so yes, you can do something about it, why worry? We know what we can do to fix it. There's no need to be stressed out about it. And if there's absolutely nothing that we can do about our problem, then why worry about it? Just accept what's happening, learn from it, and move on. For the second step of the journey, I'm going to tell a story, one that hits very close to home for me. This is the story of the very first major roadblock my life has been faced with. In the summer of 2010, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was 14 years old when she told me. We were driving home from dropping my brother off at a track practice when she told me, and I tried to play it off if it was nothing. I only knew what the media portrayed of the word cancer. I was 14 years old, I didn't really know much, and I was scared. So I bottled up this fear, the worry. I put it all inside, and it kind of got to me. Months went by, and the date of her surgery was scheduled on the same day as a volleyball tournament I was playing for my old high school before I came to Appleby College. And as the day went by, it was incredibly clear that I just could not be 100% focused on volleyball. I made mistakes that I don't normally make, missed serves that I never miss. And after the tournament ended, I was taken to the hospital to see her. I can't remember who drove me there, what car we took, or what floor she was on. I just can't remember. But I do remember being told that she would be looking a little pale from the surgery. She'd most likely be sleeping and under the influence of some heavy sedatives. So I walked into the room and I whispered, "Hi." And she responded with, "Hi, how was volleyball?" After her major surgery, one that all attention should be on her and her well-being, she somehow still knew that I needed her to get around the roadblock in our lives and to support me when it was her that I was worried about. In November of the same year, I had my interview with Mr. Jenner to see if I was admissible to Appleby College. And during our conversation, he kind of caught me off guard with a question about the most inspiring moment of my life. I told him the story that I just shared with you, and I cried between every word that I told. It was the first time that I'd ever expressed emotion about how I felt. And I told him that it was the worst possible timing for me to cry about what had happened. Catching me off guard a second time, Mr. Jenner not only told me that what I'd said about my timing was ridiculous, but that it was a good thing that I had told him. He told me that it's not healthy to try and take on those emotions myself, that I wasn't meant to be able to keep them inside. And that was all I'd ever needed to do. I needed to trust someone that if I was open to them, they wouldn't call me weak, like you guys aren't, so thanks. And they would understand my situation, understand my need for their help, and straighten me back onto where I was needing to go. The support that we find comes in all shapes and sizes. It doesn't need to be as deep as the support that your family can show to you. The support could be as simple as hey, that was only a quiz, and it doesn't count for many marks. Or it can be as simple as Brendan Duff helping out Tyler Burton when he and Sean are wrestling, and then Pole's House kind of supports what goes on next. And finally, the last step, the destination. So you've made it to your destination, wherever it may be, and just to use an example, I'm going to use graduation for the Senior 2s. We've all made it to the end of the year and are ready to move on to the next stages of our lives. But years and years down the road, we're not going to be remembering and reflecting on the fact that we got to the destination. We're going to remember the journey that it took to get there. We're not going to be saying, oh, do you remember that we graduated at our 25-year reunion? We're going to be talking about the memorable times we had along our journey to get to graduation. When the people in this very room who became doctors are performing, they're going to be remembering what they learned to get their degree and how to perform, not the fact that they have one. Ernest Hemingway wrote, "It is good to have an end to journey towards, but it is the journey that matters in the end." The destination is just the end of the road. It's simply a token telling you that you've made it to wherever you wanted to go. For the true joy lies in playing a game of hockey or playing a piece of music, not in finishing it. Now will you please all rise and sing hymn 575.